Young and the Restless early spoilers June 23rd to 27th. Victor and Dumas clash ignites. On Wednesday, June 18th, Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian, and his son Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziade, are chatting, and he updates Danny about Lucy Romalotti, Lily Brooks O'Brien, doing better now that she's processing through some of her grief. She's making some more friends. Things are going well with her. And Danny is absolutely thrilled that Daniel is making music with Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, and that it's therapeutic. But Daniel also insists that he and Tessa are just friends when Danny starts asking about that and poking a little bit. However, the dynamic between Daniel and Tessa could change very soon, like by the end of this week and definitely going into next week. Daniel is still missing Heather Stevens, Vale Bloom, and grieving her loss. And Danny, of course, regrets not being present in the way he thinks he should have been for Daniel, but his son reassures him. And then big news. Danny reveals he's going to propose to Christine Cricket Blair Williams, Laura Lee Bell. And then he laughs and says he's going to let Daniel tell Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, about the engagement because Danny doesn't want to have to deal with her. I don't blame him. Daniel offers his blessing. Mariah and Tessa's relationship crisis. A Young and the Restless breakdown. Meanwhile, Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, is spiraling and flashing back to whatever dodgy deed she did with that very old man, and she won't look Tessa in the eye, and Mariah insists that what she did was worse than a one-night stand. Tessa says they can get past it, but Mariah wants to split up with her and even has a visitation schedule in hand for their daughter, Aria Porter Copeland. Mariah says she cannot ever tell Tessa what she did. So, I actually hope this is something good and not something stupid they're making into a big deal. I don't know if she murdered this guy and dumped his body. I have no idea. But he reminds me a lot of Ian Ward, Ray Wise. So I'm a little worried. But Mariah insists she has to work through it on her own and says she is not going to change her mind about this and walks out on her wife. Tessa is breaking down. She's sobbing. And Daniel walks up, finds her in this state, and is comforting her. Tessa is in Daniel's arms when Mariah comes back, but then she spots them together and walks away looking pretty dejected. Chelsea's accusations and Adam's promise. The Young and the Restless drama unfolds. At work, Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, goes nuts and she randomly accuses Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, of lying to her and going behind her back and publishing hit pieces about Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson. Anyway, after they agreed they weren't going to do it. Chelsea really thought he was up to something. And Adam is like, "What are you talking about?" He was just at his computer playing a video game online with their son Connor Newman, Judah Mackey. So Chelsea realizes that she was being a little crazy. She says she's sorry and then they do sexy stuff on the couch. So obviously Adam's going to forget about Chelsea's crazy, right? Adam promises that he's not going to break Chelsea's heart, but they both know once Victor Newman, Eric Braden, sees that they defied him and did not run any of the hit pieces on Billy, there will be consequences. Now the lucky thing right now, Adam knows his dad is very distracted with this Dumas thing in France. So, he thinks they have a little bit of time before the wrath of Victor heads their way. But Adam and Chelsea vow to face Victor together, come what may. Young and the Restless spoilers. The Dumas identity reveal and Jack's regret. On Thursday, June 19th, Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, is ready to finally get the answers that she's been after. But Carter, the mystery man's assistant, keeps delaying and he keeps changing the story about when Dumas will meet them. And it seems like he's definitely lying. For instance, Carter says that Dumas' flight was delayed, but we know the mystery man has been in his lair watching everybody assembled on hidden cameras. If Agatha Christie had surveillance equipment, this is what we would be looking at. As of now, Kane Ashby, formerly Daniel Goddard, still looks like the likeliest candidate of Dumas' real identity, but we're supposed to find out on Friday. We're going to get a look at Dumas on Friday, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to reveal his identity, because if they just show his face and drop jaws, the identity is not going to be confirmed. So, it may be a cliffhanger thing where on Monday then somebody says his name. Young and the Restless spoilers, Jack's regrets. Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, begins to regret delaying his honeymoon with Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters, to play these reindeer games. He doesn't care about Chancellor and he thinks Billy can just deal with whatever with Victor. But Diane is worried about Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, and what Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver, has planned. So, she will likely tell Jack they can't go yet. Audra's scheme to entice Kyle seems to be going off well. We're going to see Audra with Kyle getting up close and personal in her space. Close enough to sniff her, which is strange. But is he drunk? Is he drugged? I don't know. Seems strange. Josh Griffith's spoilers say that Audra's old feelings re-emerge and complicate things. Amanda's connection to Dumas and a familiar face returns to Genoa City. On Friday, June 20th, Amanda Sinclair's Miss Hale Morgan real connection to Dumas is revealed. Is she more than his lawyer? The wait's finally over. Dumas unveils himself to everybody assembled at the chateau. But the big question is, like I said, are they just going to gape at him, or is somebody going to gasp out his name in the final moments of Friday's episodes? Because supposedly he is the last person they expect. But since this is presumably some sort of recast, seeing Billy Flynn's face isn't going to help identify it for any of the viewers. And if you don't know Billy Flynn, trust me, you're going to love him. He was so good on Days of Our Lives. He's an excellent actor. Young and the Restless spoilers, Kyle's betrayal, Victor's plot, and Billy's alliance. The week of June 23rd through the 27th, Audra thinks she has Kyle right where she wants him with Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, focused on her dad and Kyle over. Kyle's at the chateau and Claire is in Chicago with Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley. They're worried about Cole Howard's Eddie Peck health. Audra can play games to get Kyle to betray Claire to her heart's content. Of course, Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, is going to find out if he angry, and Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, remains an ongoing problem. We'll see if Jack and Diane can save Kyle from Audra and Victor Newman's wicked plot. Young and the Restless spoilers, Billy goes to Dumas. Billy tries to get Dumas to help him get back Chancellor. It's funny because Victor was hoping to team up with Dumas against them, but it can't go both ways. And Victor and Dumas are going to face off. And the battle between those two is supposed to be epic. Some of Billy Flynn's first scenes shot were with Eric Braeden, but that doesn't mean those will be the first scenes aired because, they do shoot out of order. So, Billy is going to be very pleased that this is not an ally for Victor Newman, but it may not be an ally for Genoa City either. Is reaching a fever pitch this week on The Young and the Restless, as Victor Newman and the calculating Dumas collide in a battle of wits, power, and ego that could shake the foundations of Newman Enterprises and leave everyone caught in the crossfire. From June 23rd to 27th, viewers can expect sparks to fly, alliances to shift, and secrets to surface that no one saw coming. It all begins on Monday, June 23rd, with Victor Newman's sharp instincts sensing that something is off with the new player in town, Dumas. Though outwardly charming and sophisticated, Dumas harbors an agenda that Victor quickly perceives as a threat. Early scenes reveal Victor watching Dumas' every move, his trademark scowl deepening with each calculated interaction. Meanwhile, Dumas presents himself as the epitome of professionalism, subtly undermining Victor at every opportunity while cloaking his true intentions in diplomacy and polite conversation. Victor's unease isn't unfounded. By Tuesday, June 24th, the tension escalates in a high-stakes boardroom showdown at Newman Enterprises. Victor, never one to be intimidated, calls a meeting to assess Dumas' intentions directly. Sparks fly as Dumas challenges Victor's authority, questioning past business decisions and suggesting a new direction for the company that clashes directly with Victor's vision. The dialogue is sharp, the verbal jousting intense, and for a moment, even Victor's loyal allies, including Nikki and Victoria, seem taken aback by Dumas' audacity. Adding fuel to the fire, Victoria Newman begins noticing discrepancies in Dumas' proposals. She confides in Nikki, expressing doubts about the newcomer's motives. Nikki, ever the voice of reason, warns Victoria to tread carefully, reminding her that Victor has faced many adversaries over the years and that Dumas' charm may be a facade masking something far more dangerous. The mother-daughter conversation sets the stage for an emotional subplot that underscores the weak, loyalty versus intuition. By Wednesday, June 25th, the clash becomes personal. Dumas maneuvers a way to gain influence over key company decisions, leveraging private information that only someone close to Newman Enterprises could know. Victor, never one to back down, confronts Dumas in a tense private meeting. Their exchange is explosive, a mix of biting sarcasm, veiled threats, and psychological one-upmanship. The chemistry of confrontation is palpable, with Victor's decades of business acumen meeting Dumas' cunning strategy head-on. For fans, this is a classic showdown, reminiscent of Newman's earlier battles with the likes of Jack Abbott, but with a darker, more unpredictable twist. Meanwhile, other Genoa City residents are drawn into the fallout. Lauren Fenmore grows increasingly concerned about Victor's emotional state as the feud escalates. She notices him becoming more irritable, more controlling, and more willing to take risks that could jeopardize the company he has built. Lauren's worry is coupled with relief. She knows that Victor's instincts are usually spot on, and she fears that Dumas could exploit even the smallest lapse. Lauren sees this weak balanced tension with heartfelt concern, showing a side of her that is both protective and strategic. Thursday, June 26th, brings unexpected developments. Dumas' schemes start to take root as he successfully sows discord among some of Victor's closest allies. The ripple effects are immediate. Cracks in the Newman family dynamic appear, with Victoria questioning whether to side with her father or cautiously explore Dumas' proposals. Nikki, sensing the danger, steps in with her usual diplomacy, trying to mediate while keeping the family united. The drama escalates further when Dumas orchestrates a public display of influence during a high-profile company event, subtly humiliating Victor in front of employees and shareholders. This move doesn't just threaten Victor's professional reputation. It strikes at the heart of his pride, creating a ticking time bomb for the finale of the week. By Friday, June 27th, all the tension reaches a boiling point. Victor, unwilling to let Dumas undermine him any further, retaliates in a strategic maneuver that leaves everyone stunned. The climax unfolds during a dramatic confrontation that merges personal vendettas with corporate warfare. Victor's cunning, honed over decades of battles in Genoa City, meets Dumas' ambition head-on, resulting in an intense showdown full of high stakes, sharp dialogue, and shocking revelations. Throughout the week, secondary characters are not mere bystanders. Amanda Sinclair observes the conflict with keen interest, weighing how Dumas' presence could affect her own ambitions within Newman Enterprises. Meanwhile, Devin Hamilton finds himself pulled into the chaos, needing to navigate loyalty to Victor while managing his own moral compass. And as tensions rise, secrets that were buried, long-held Newman family knowledge, insider business moves, and private betrayals begin to surface, adding layers of intrigue and emotional intensity to the showdown. This week's storyline also features moments of emotional vulnerability, particularly for Victor. Despite his powerful exterior, viewers get glimpses of the man behind the empire. A man who fears losing control, who worries about his family's safety, and who understands that sometimes the greatest threats come not from outside forces, but from those who claim to be allies. The juxtaposition of Victor's strength and vulnerability gives the week's drama a depth that makes the conflict with Dumas even more compelling. As the June 23, 27 week draws to a close, fans are left on the edge of their seats. Will Victor successfully neutralize Dumas' threat, or is this the beginning of a long-term adversary who could change the balance of power in Genoa City forever? One thing is certain. The clash between Victor and Dumas is not just about business. It's about pride, loyalty, family, and the kind of cunning that defines the young and the restless. Expect high emotions, sharp dialogue, and shocking twists that will leave viewers talking long after the episodes air. Victor Newman versus Dumas isn't just a battle for the company. It's a battle for the soul of Newman Enterprises, and Genoa City itself may never be the same again. This week promises to be a roller coaster of suspense, strategic moves, and emotional fallout. As the dust settles, alliances may be shattered, new enemies may rise, and Victor Newman may be forced to reckon with challenges that test both his business acumen and his ability to protect the family he cherishes. The stage is set, the players are in position, and the showdown is imminent. June 23rd to 27th on The Young and the Restless promises intrigue, drama, and explosive moments that fans will not want to miss. Especially when Victor Newman and Dumas collide in a clash destined to be remembered as one of the most intense confrontations in Genoa City corridors of Genoa City, romance and betrayal often walk hand in hand. And nowhere is this more apparent than in the rocky waters of Mariah Copeland and Tessa Porter's relationship. What once seemed like an unshakable bond, rooted in trust and mutual admiration, is now teetering on the edge of a potential emotional abyss. Fans of The Young and the Restless have been watching with bated breath as subtle tensions escalate, threatening to fracture one of the show's most beloved couples. The cracks in Mariah and Tessa's relationship first began as whispers in the background, a missed dinner here, a vague text ignored there, but they've grown into glaring issues that neither can seem to navigate. Mariah, ever the compassionate yet headstrong soul, has always prided herself on her openness. She approaches love with a heart wide open, wearing her emotions on her sleeve. Tessa, on the other hand, is more guarded. The world has taught her that vulnerability comes at a price, and her quiet, introspective nature often clashes with Mariah's fiery transparency. The tension between them reached a tipping point when Tessa's career at the music studio started taking unexpected turns. An enticing opportunity arose for her to collaborate with a high-profile artist in Los Angeles. A chance she had longed for but never dared to dream would materialize. While the opportunity was career-defining, it also meant weeks, if not months, away from Genoa City, and more importantly, from Mariah. Mariah, proud of Tessa, yet fearing the distance could unravel the delicate fabric of their relationship, tried to mask her unease with encouragement. But the fear of losing Tessa, compounded by past traumas and insecurities, simmered quietly beneath the surface. The first real confrontation came during an emotional evening at Crimson Lights. Mariah, unable to contain her mounting anxiety, confronted Tessa with a mixture of frustration and heartbreak. I don't know if I can do this," Mariah admitted, her voice quivering. "I want to support you, I really do. But every time I think about you leaving, it feels like my heart is breaking in half." Tessa, taken aback, struggled to balance her own excitement with Mariah's vulnerability. "Mariah, you know how much this means to me. I'm not leaving because I don't love you. I'm leaving because I have to chase my dreams." The argument, intense but rooted in love, highlighted the fundamental challenge facing them. The tension between personal ambition and partnership. Mariah's fear wasn't unfounded. Past relationships in Genoa City had taught her that distance often leads to heartbreak. Tessa's desire for independence was equally valid, representing years of dedication to her craft and a chance to step into the spotlight she'd longed for. It was a classic YandR dilemma, love versus self-fulfillment, and neither option offered a clean, easy path. Complicating matters further, external forces in Genoa City weren't helping. Sharon Newman, Mariah's mother, has always harbored a protective streak over her daughter, and she couldn't resist inserting herself into the situation. "Mariah, don't let her slip away," Sharon warned during a tense moment at the Chancellor estate. While well-intentioned, Sharon's words added fuel to Mariah's anxieties, making her feel as though she had to fight for Tessa, rather than simply trust her. Meanwhile, lingering specters of past relationships, including Mariah's previous heartbreaks and Tessa's cautious ex-partners, loomed in their minds, making the couple second-guess their decisions. As the days passed, the emotional strain manifested in subtle but telling ways. Mariah found herself snapping at Tessa over small misunderstandings, a missed call or an unclear text message, while Tessa became increasingly defensive, interpreting Mariah's tension as a lack of faith in her. Friends began to notice the shift. Abby Newman, ever attuned to the undercurrents of Genoa City relationships, confronted Mariah gently. "You two are incredible together, but it feels like you're on the verge of a breakdown. You need to talk, not fight," Abby advised. It was a reminder that love, especially in the turbulent world of the young and the restless, requires both courage and communication. The situation reached a crescendo when Tessa finally received official confirmation that her project would require her to relocate for a month. The news sparked a fierce argument at home, with Mariah's fears exploding in a torrent of emotion. "I can't just sit here and wait for you to be gone," Mariah exclaimed, tears streaking her face. "What if we drift apart? What if we're not strong enough to survive this?" Tessa, equally emotional, responded with equal intensity. "Mariah, do you think I don't feel scared too? Do you think I want to leave you? But this is my chance, and I need you to trust me." It was in this raw, vulnerable exchange that the true essence of their crisis became clear. It wasn't about mistrust, infidelity, or betrayal. It was about the challenge of growing together while navigating individual dreams. Mariah's love for Tessa was fierce, protective, and undeniably deep, but it also carried the weight of fear. Tessa's love was equally strong, but expressed through action and independence rather than constant reassurance. The clash wasn't personal, it was structural, a test of how two people could adapt and evolve while remaining a unit. In the aftermath, the couple took a tentative step toward reconciliation. They began attending counseling sessions, led by a compassionate Genoa City therapist, exploring strategies for long-distance support and emotional transparency. Slowly, they learned to articulate fears without judgment, to listen without defensiveness, and to celebrate achievements without feeling threatened. Mariah realized that supporting Tessa didn't diminish her role in the relationship, it strengthened it. Tessa discovered that independence and partnership weren't mutually exclusive. They were complementary when nurtured with care. Yet the road ahead is far from certain. The looming separation, combined with Genoa City's inevitable drama, interfering exes, business entanglements, and neighborhood gossip, continues to pose obstacles. Each interaction is now laden with heightened emotion, with fans eagerly awaiting whether Mariah and Tessa can weather the storm or succumb to the pressures of ambition, fear, and the unpredictable twists of soap opera life. For the audience, Mariah and Tessa's relationship crisis is more than just entertainment. It's a mirror of real-life relationship dynamics, magnified under the Genoa City spotlight. The tension between personal dreams and shared love resonates deeply, reminding viewers that even the strongest connections require patience, compromise, and trust. It's a testament to the young and the restless ability to portray nuanced, emotional storylines that captivate hearts while reflecting the complexities of modern romance. In conclusion, Mariah and Tessa's current crisis is a pivotal moment in their narrative arc. It challenges their bond, tests their emotional resilience, and sets the stage for dramatic reconciliations or heartbreaks that could define their futures. As viewers, we are left on the edge of our seats, hearts aching and rooting for the couple to find balance in a world that constantly threatens to pull them apart. Whether they emerge stronger or falter under the weight of Genoa City's relentless pressures. In the glitzy, high-stakes world of Genoa City, few things are as explosive as a confrontation between lovers when secrets hang in the balance. This week on The Young and the Restless, Chelsea Lawson is back with a vengeance, and Adam Newman finds himself caught in a web of accusations that threaten not only his reputation but his relationships and the fragile peace he's been trying to maintain. It all began with Chelsea's stormy return to town. Fresh off a series of personal upheavals, including the ongoing tension with her family and the lingering ghost of her tumultuous past, Chelsea had barely settled back into the rhythm of Genoa City life when she learned something that set her blood boiling. There had been whispers, rumors of deception, lies, and manipulations involving none other than Adam Newman, her former love and the man whose shadow still lingers over much of her life. Chelsea's emotions were a whirlwind, alternating between betrayal, anger, and hurt. She stormed into Adam's office at Newman Enterprises, her heels clicking sharply against the polished floors, her eyes flashing with determination. "Adam, I need the truth," she demanded, her voice trembling not just with rage but with the fear that history was repeating itself. "I can't believe you would do something like this. Not to me, not to us." Adam, who had been meticulously reviewing reports on the Newman Enterprises' quarterly performance, looked up in surprise. His expression was a mix of frustration and concern, and for once he seemed genuinely at a loss for words. "Chelsea, wait, let me explain. There's more going on here than you realize," he began cautiously, aware that one wrong word could ignite the volatile storm before him. Chelsea crossed her arms, her jaw tight. "Explain? Adam, don't even try. I've been through this before. I trusted you, and now I find out there's been scheming behind my back." Her tone was sharp, cutting through the usually calm ambience of Adam's office. "You promised me things would be different this time, and yet here we are. How many times are we going to go in circles, Adam?" The tension between them was palpable. Outside the office, Newman Enterprises buzzed with the usual corporate energy, but inside, time seemed to freeze as the two stood locked in a battle of emotions. Chelsea, who had been on the receiving end of deceit more than once, wasn't about to back down. Her accusations weren't just about Adam's business dealings. They were deeply personal. She wanted to know if Adam was still capable of honesty, if he could be trusted not to manipulate her or those she cared about. Adam took a deep breath, his hands rising in a gesture of peace. "Chelsea, I swear I've never lied to hurt you. Everything I've done has been to protect you, us," he said, his voice steady, yet carrying the weight of sincerity. "I know I haven't always been perfect. I know I've made mistakes, but I am trying to change. You have to believe me. I promise you no more secrets. From here on out, it's all transparent. I won't let anything come between us again." Chelsea's eyes narrowed. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to cling to the hope that Adam had finally matured, that he could live up to the promises he made. But the sting of past betrayals made it difficult. "Promises, Adam, promises have been cheap between us. Words aren't enough anymore," she countered, her voice softening ever so slightly, revealing the vulnerability she usually kept hidden. "I need actions. I need to see that you mean it this time. Otherwise, I don't know if I can keep believing in us." Adam stepped closer, closing the physical and emotional gap between them. "Chelsea, I'll do whatever it takes." "Whatever it takes," he repeated, his intensity matching hers. "If that means proving myself every day, then that's what I'll do. You're worth it, more than anything else in this world. I won't let you down again." Chelsea's expression softened, but her arms remained folded. The fire in her eyes had dimmed slightly, replaced by a flicker of hope. Adam, I want to believe you. I really do. But you have to understand, I've been hurt before. I can't just forget that, she admitted, her voice tinged with emotion. Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden knock on the office door. It was Chelsea's mother, Jill, who had been watching her daughter's life closely, always ready to step in when danger loomed. Jill's presence added another layer of pressure. She had seen Adam's schemes in the past, the way he could manipulate situations to his advantage, and she was wary of her daughter being caught up in another round of deceit. Chelsea, maybe we should take a step back, Jill suggested cautiously. I know you want answers and Adam may be sincere, but you have to protect yourself. Your heart, it's fragile right now. Chelsea glanced at her mother, then back at Adam. I know, Mom, but I also can't ignore him. Not completely. He's Adam, and part of me still loves him despite everything, she admitted, a tear threatening to escape her eye. Adam, sensing the breakthrough, reached for her hand. Chelsea, I know words aren't enough, but I'll spend the rest of my life showing you that you can trust me. No more lies. No more games. Just us figuring this out together, he said, his voice filled with unwavering conviction. The moment hung in the air, a delicate balance between love, trust, and the risk of heartbreak. Chelsea's heart battled her head, torn between the desire to believe in Adam's redemption and the fear of being hurt once again. As the episode progressed, viewers will witness a series of emotional twists. Chelsea's accusations will force Adam to confront the darker aspects of his past, while Chelsea will navigate the fine line between protecting herself and opening her heart again. Their journey promises heartbreak, passion, and moments of revelation that could change the course of their relationship forever. In Genoa City, love is never simple, and redemption is always a gamble. Chelsea's confrontation with Adam is a reminder that in a world filled with ambition, betrayal, and secrets, the path to trust is paved with courage, vulnerability, and sometimes a little bit of faith. As the drama unfolds, fans can expect explosive showdowns, heart-stopping revelations, and the slow, painstaking rebuilding of a love that has endured trials too numerous to count. Chelsea's accusations may shake Adam to his core, but his promise, to be better, to be honest, and to be there for her, marks the beginning of a chapter that could either end in heartbreak or, finally, in hope. In a city where secrets are currency and love is a battlefield, Chelsea and Adam are learning that the truth may hurt, but it is the only path to genuine connection. And for viewers of The Young and the Restless, this story is far from over. With every accusation, every tear, and every heartfelt promise, the drama escalates, keeping everyone on the edge of their seats, eagerly anticipating the next twist in this unforgettable saga.